Hi guys, Loz here and welcome back to City Skylines. Now, where we left the last episode off, we'd finished all these canals and we had some water flow over the canals at the end here, which is still the case. Now, I did spend a few hours initially trying to just let it settle on its own, which it didn't, and then I came back through and I was trying to make adjustments to the canals deeper or shallower to fine tune it, and in some cases completely removing them, making terrain adjustments and then replacing them. Nothing really seemed to work, and I realized that it ultimately comes down to just the smallest fluctuation in the water higher up then ends up being magnified 3/4 of the way down the canal. So I realized as well that what I'd done earlier was to create this reservoir at the top so that the water flowing over the top of the dam wasn't causing these erratic fluctuations in the water flow going down the start of the canals. And then I tried this over here and I created this cool little dam. I really like it with the bridge underneath. And we're going to do something similar. We're not going to create waterfalls all over the place. We might do one or two more. We'll see how, we'll do what feels right. And yeah, and we'll create a few reservoirs here and there. Hopefully it'll work. But guys, as promised though, before we get onto that, in the last video I did say we would jump straight in and get this dam finished. Now anyone that knows how dams are structured will look at this and say, that's wrong, that does not work. And there is a science behind how dams are built, and they have a very particular curve to them. So I'm going to try and replicate that now. And then once that, I'll jump ahead, and once they're done, for those that don't know, I'll try and very quickly explain it. Alright guys, so here we go. I've completely changed the shape of the dam. Now, very quickly, science behind this. Animals discovered this well before humans did. The pressure from all this water coming down the river here and pulling behind the dam, it's a lot. And what happens is it hits the back of the dam and the pressure gets distributed out the sides and into the wall. So it's like it's trying to push from the middle and making the dam wider, if you imagine it that way, so it kind of digs into the walls a bit. If it was the other way around, if water was coming from this side, it would just push it out of the way. That's pretty much it. That's the best way I can explain it as well. I don't know if that's if you guys understood that, but yeah, I think hopefully. Okay, now I've also made this wide enough to get a road across the top and whatever other decoration we decide to do. But first up, I want to do the quays along the top edge. Now, quays will only place against the shoreline, so I'm going to have to butcher my landscape to make that happen. What I'm going to have to do is build just another dam wall across here so that this all fills up, build another wall over here so that the whole lot back here fills up with water to the point where I want to build the quays. And then once that's done, I'll pause it, I'll build the quays, and yeah, we'll get on with it. Okay, so I'll quickly do that now and jump right back. Okay, that's it. Now, that is butchered well and truly. You can see we've completely cut off the water flow down there with the intention of this filling up behind, and I've butchered some of the landscape over here just to get this water level where I want it around the dam. Now, if you guys are thinking of recreating something like this, using the landscape to create a dam, you don't have to get all the edges nice and smooth because the quays will do that for you. Alright, so what I'll do now, start one back over here somewhere. Where do I want to start? Let's start it about there. Well, where's my curve? Bring it around. Now, because we've got the water there, it's allowing us, let's get the right height, it's allowing us to build. There we go. Now that's nice and smooth, where the landscape before was not. And if we continue with this, we'll just build out to there. There we go. And we might start all the way back down the other end here. Let's start it back around there. We'll make the curve point there, and we'll see if we bring it around. Now, is that the right shape? Is that the right shape? Is it the right shape? Good question, good question. I'll think about it and we will come back. We will come back to it and decide. I just don't like the way this ends here. Can we? Oh, damn it. We need to quickly drop the terrain down. So I'll just take some out of there. And where did I want my keys? No, that didn't make a difference. What am I doing? Let's take some out of this way. And keys. Will it slope down? Oh no, too steep. That's right. We might just fill the terrain up and use the terrain. No, that might not look right. That might not look very good. Okay, we will try this one again, maybe from about there. Actually, you know, it's this part that doesn't look right. Okay, so we will take a bit out of the terrain back around here. We'll get our keys again. There's some curves. There they are. We want more of a curve on it this time. There we go. That will work a lot better. Now this one we can bring. Let's go and do a little bit of terrain editing back over here. I'll take out of that. Okay. Now, because the water level's up a lot higher, I realise now it's not going to want to place the key down lower than the water level. So we will bring it around in a way that we can just fill the terrain up around it once it's done, and then it looks like it just goes into the side of the mountain. That. Whoops, that's not meant to happen. Try that again, folks. It's done it to me again. Oh, actually that's not too bad. We can probably fill the mountain out if I just take that last two bits out. We'll recreate this one. Do it again. Take a little bit of soil out there. Bring it. There we go. Okay. And then if we bring some of that, bring the mountain out so it looks like it just goes. There we go. Yep, we'll come back to that and touch it up later. All right, so that's the first part of the dam done. Next, we've got these two little, currently, islands that will form the sides of the gates. Now this is going to be tricky to get the shape just right. We'll just use straight lines for these. Maybe it's about there. Because we want it to look like this forms just a nice curve as it comes around. I don't think that was quite right. Maybe if we start with this one. Bring it over that way. How's that? Look, that's probably going to do nicely. Now, can we get something close? Snap. Disable the snap. There we go. We want these. Get our terrain editing tools. Bring these up a little. As much as I'm a perfectionist, I need to remember that this here does not matter, because as soon as I place the keys, it flattens everything. There we go. That will work nicely. Now we want to just bring a straight line down here. Roughly about there. Same down the other side. If it will let me place it. How about we bring it back around this way first. Come on. Why won't you place? And why is that kicking up like that? I don't like that. It's because of this, and it's not flat. Ignore my previous statement. It does matter. So I'm actually just using the very edge of the brush to get that flat. So even though I'm using it down almost in the bottom of this, the gate, I'm actually looking at where the yellow bit is on the edge of the brush. Because if we go ahead and do it in the middle, it affects the rest of the lens around it. So we'll just go fix this up again. Whoops, a bit too much there. Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay, let's make this a little wider again. Don't want to make these gates too wide. Yeah, they are the floodgates of a dam, they're not. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. A much bigger area this time. We want to remove that one. Actually, we'll need to touch up this corner a bit just to bring it out a little bit further. There we go, flatten that off, bring that up. Bring the corner. I think that's going to be flat enough. Stop being a perfectionist. Okay. Let's try this. Try this. So let's get this line straight. That'll work. That'll work nicely. Okay, so they do need to be a certain size. I'm going to need to make this one a little bit wider either side. It's interesting how the water's flowing in here and out there. Well, I wonder why it doesn't just... getting sidetracked. Okay. So some of you may notice that we've got this extra dirt, soil, landscape outside this. Now that we've placed the keys, we just come back and remove it from the outside, and that's it. And then you look at it, voila, we now have something that looks like it was just made and then filled with dirt. Although that side there, I might just quickly, I don't really like that this kicks up a little bit here, so we'll just fix it. What am I doing? Of course it's not going to... I need to adjust the landscape. There we go. That's probably all it was. Nope, okay. Look, I can ignore it. I can ignore it. It's fine. No one will notice. Alright guys, so now that you've seen... I've shown you how that's done, I'm going to go ahead and get all the keys placed around this whole section here where the... along the whole dam. And then we'll come right back. Okay guys, so this took a lot more work than I had anticipated. In the interest of time, we're just going to speed this all up and I'll tell you what's happening. So as you can see, I'm finishing off the keys around the top of the dam. That was the easy part. Then we're chopping out all that extra butchered landscape that we put in and leveling it all, well, evening it all back out at the same time. Then we come back through, and as I briefly showed earlier, we're taking the landscape away from the sides of the dam. Now what I didn't realize was that because of the size of the brush and the way it sits, that also takes it off the top. So in a moment you'll see I put the roads down across the top of the dam. If I was to come back and do this again, I would do that first. With the roads down, it doesn't modify the landscape along the top, only what is along the side. You know, if you were to then remove the road, it would all just disappear from underneath the road. That's just how the game works. Put the roads down first if you're going to do this. There we go. There's the roads. Now, once we get these roads as well, if I was to do this again, I would get the roads down before even building the dam, and I would create the giant piers for the gates underneath the piers for the bridge. But I'd evenly space them out so that they were in between each, and it still looks pretty nice. Now, the other thing I did here, you may or may not have seen, we've got some, at the moment, they're just service roads coming down either side of the dam. That's because the edge of the roads affect the landscape, and it makes it look a lot better along the edge. Alright guys, that's it. One finished dam. We've got some I created some roads down the front here, either side, to control how the terrain was sitting. It was, without those, it had this choppy kind of effect up the side of the dam walls that I didn't really like. And we can use these, we can maybe upgrade them later. I just put those dirt roads in place just to control the terrain. We'll probably use it later to create some parks or something down at the bottom, at the base, right in front of the gates for the dam. And yeah, all right, let me know what you think. We'll come back in the next episode and do the reservoirs that I described earlier. We'll do those in a few places down the canals, and then we should be just about ready to start actually building the city. All right, hit that like button, dislike, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see, let me know what you think. If you think I can be doing something better, let me know. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.